the electrical room. Our electricity comes down through a borehole. We're about 400 feet under the sky, right? They're under the earth, or under the surface, whatever you want to say. So we have 4,100 volts that come into the mine, and different transformers take it down to 2,100 at one spot for some equipment, and then three-phase 480. So this is an area that pretty high power. PG&E, we have PG&E power here. There's enough probably to run a small mountain community to come into the mine.
Wow.
So we're almost to the 49 winds. We've just come in this crosscut. This tunnel was driven two ways. It was driven from the inside out and the outside in. It was put in 1984, 85 by a lessee that we had. And then we're going to go, there's another map that I can show you, the tightener. We're going to go over to the tightener shaft over here, and then come on back over, and then we're going to go down this 49 winds and see where they're working. I'd like to check on them today anyway. This is again part of the real oldest part of the workings here. This was driven in 1865 by another company called the 21. And then they found out they were working the same vein, so the 16-to-1 ended up buying out these other companies. That's when we grew through this consolidation with an underground mine. we have things that we notice all the time. And because we've been in the environment, we've worked in it, and a person that has not worked in a mine like this has a very difficult time. What these inexperienced inspectors are doing is they're seeing, for example, a crack. Oh my God, there's a crack, you know. Why don't you put, oh, there's a crack right there. How come you don't have a timber under this thing? Well, we know that we've looked at everything around here. If we had my rock pick, I'd tap it, I could hear it. And we know that we don't need them, from experience, that we don't need any ground support here. But we've had them come in and write a citation for things like this. And then for them, when they write a citation, almost everything could be fatal. You know, life is a risk. But through this process, they write everything as a possibility of being fatal. It just has to stop, because that's what's really threatening the whole industry of mining. This is the water coming out of our pump discharge right now. We're on the 800 level, and we have a pump down below the 1700 level, bringing this water out. And it's just as clear and pure as, you know, I mean, it's just, there's not an issue really.
Yeah.
It has a higher level of arsenic, but that's what you would expect, but it doesn't have a toxic level of arsenic. And it has the whole stream up here, Kanaka Creek, has a higher level than what the limits are. But the limits have changed over the years. This is one of the issues that has been, you know, if you want to call it bad science, call it bad science. I will call it bad science if we're justified doing that. But they've taken a scenario that is really lacks common sense or practicality, quite frankly. I just, you know, like I wanted to make it clear, I think in that letter, that I'm not against regulation. The industries, all industries need to be regulated. But we have to get the regulators experienced enough to know really what they're doing, and we have to adjust some of the standards that are out there, because they've gone way too far. They've gone beyond reason. So we're going north, and as we go north, we're getting deeper and deeper under the surface of the earth, because we're going underneath the mountain. You know, Alleghany, we were 4,500 feet elevation in Alleghany, and the portal 39. So we're going to be 1,500 feet below the surface. Just this short time we've been in the mine, we've passed gold that's within 10 feet of us in the quartz. And you can't mine it all. That's the point. You've got to selectively mine. And one of the things that's helped us so much over the last, well, since 1992, was using the metal detectors in the mine. We started using the metal detectors you see on the beach.
Yeah.
And it was shocking how they reacted to the gold. And what's missing is the 21st century technology. It just hasn't found us yet, and we haven't found it. And I know it's out there, because the ground penetrating radar and software, so many things have changed technologically in the detection world, but yet no one has been able to either know that we exist and we need it and would like it, and we don't know who they are that might have it either. So it's when those two paths cross, it's going to change California mining forever. It's going to eliminate much of the risk. on our brass board here, and we brass in the morning, and then we brass back out at the end of the shift. Very, very important that you print your tag out, otherwise everybody wastes and wonders why you're not out of the mine yet. And then the other thing is we all carry a brass in our pockets or on our belt or someplace like that. That's also one of the rules. So I'm going to brass us into the 1,000. And you're on with me. So,
got it.
But, we have 35 miles of tunnels underneath us here. And compare that to the Empire mine, which had 350. So that's a totally different situation. And see above now, up there, you can see the old original. Dark glasses on. See, can you see that stamp mill right there?
Oh yeah.
And that's the mill. Not the stamp mill. The other one was built in the 1980s and still we've redone it. But that's the original location of the stamp mill. Early 1900s. So we're on private property too. This is these are patented claims. There's so many things to distinguish one property from another. And these are patented claims, which means the company owns them outright and owns the surface as well. And versus an unpatented claim, when you're basically, you have a right to the minerals, but you don't have a right to develop the surface.
Got it.
And I'm fearful for the fact that, we're really the last one that's doing this type of work right now. And it's sad to say, but all of a sudden, I'm that elder feeling. Finding gold is, it's the joy of conquest, I would say, more than the monetary. In fact, the money doesn't even enter into it. It's a thrill. It's beautiful. It can surprise you. You don't know how much is there. Maybe you get a little clue that you're finding some. But it's just a very, very happy feeling and humble feeling later. There's the first initial joy, and then you realize what you've just done. And I've heard this said by a lot of the miners, and it's I guess it's true with me too. But a lot of the guys have said we like going where no one's gone before, and we do this, and we bring something out to the surface, out to humanity that no one's ever seen before. And that could sound corny, but these guys say that. They're not going to be astronauts. They're not going to be on the moon. They're not going to be doing certain things that you can say that in your work. And they say it, and that's part of the joy.
That's great.
Yeah. And as one of them said, it means we get a paycheck too.